Live from Pasadena, California, it's the 127th Rose Parade, presented by Honda, with your hosts, Bob Eubanks and Stephanie Edwards.
And good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. It's 2016. I'm Bob Eubanks.
And I'm Stephanie Edwards. And here we are, our 35th and final Rose Parade.
Yeah.
And what a great way to say farewell to all of you with the 127th parade. Find your adventure.
You know, Stephanie, it's been an honor to sit next to you all of these years. And boy, are we going to have a fun show today. So, too, will our pal Michael Ullman. Michael, where are you, man?
I'm on the roof of the Pasadena Elks Lodge. How about that? Happy New Year and good morning to you both, Bob and Stephanie. What a treat it has been for me to work with you for going on years now. Looking forward to another terrific broadcast coming to you live from the roof of the Pasadena Elks Lodge, where KTLA has had an exclusive camera position since 1947. And would you look at this? I'll be sharing this gorgeous bird's eye view with you throughout the morning. Looking forward to the broadcast. Oh, and a special thank you to General Manager Frank Sosa for making all of this happen. We'll check in throughout the morning. See you again soon.
All right, Micah, thank you very much. Find Your Adventure, our theme for the morning, and a nod to the 100th anniversary of our National Park Service. Oh, look at
hear
there
that?
it is, the B-2. Look.
It is the B-2. Woo.
Oh, man. Does
Well,
that give you goosebumps or what?
the crowd loves it.
Look at that.
Presumably, there is another one being designed for upwards of $550 million, ladies and gentlemen.
My gosh, that's beautiful.
It's just gorgeous. We thank our armed forces for what they've done. Now, on with the show.
Join us as adventure awaits.
No time to lose, wrap up your shoes. Why wait for great adventure? Don't hesitate to just let me deliver you the view.
From Pasadena, California, come find your adventure with America's New Year's celebration. Blooming for the 127th time in its storied history. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the 2016 Rose Parade, presented by Honda.
Come away, every day's a great adventure. Just let me deliver you the view. Only way to change your situation. Choose north, south, east, or west. Each an epic quest. You're on the way.
With millions of viewers in over 200 countries and territories around the world, the streets of Pasadena are brimming with fans ready to experience the thrill of a lifetime. Spectacular marching bands, beautiful equestrians, and that treasured cavalcade of fanfare and flowers. It all begins here. It all starts now. As the honored first float in today's Rose Parade celebration, ladies and gentlemen, Honda is proud to present Nature's Hope.
Wow, what a show, huh?
Jeepers.
Okay, keeping parade pace this morning is the all-new 2017 Acura NSX, which is, by the way, driven by IndyCar driver Ryan Hunter-Reay. He's going 2.5 miles per hour, which is a little slower than he will normally be driving, I think. The next generation Acura NSX brings a new experience to the supercar segment with cutting-edge technologies and beautiful, timeless design like the original NSX did a quarter of a century ago. The 2017 Acura NSX is the only supercar designed, developed, and manufactured in the United States and will launch this spring. And as you can see, Honda is bringing to life its mantra, the power of dreams, in very real and compelling ways. Wow, look at that car, huh?
The opening band, by the way, is the Etiwanda High School Marching Eagle Regiment. I have never seen any of them better. They're from Rancho Cucamonga, California, under the direction of Jeremy Hackworth, and I just about died when I saw them. My goodness, they're so good.
Oh, boy.
Now then, Honda, as you have noted, is more that Micah can tell you about right now. By the way, before I go to Micah, the Girl and Boy Scouts carrying the parade banners are the combined tournament troop. They're made up of Eagle Scouts and Girl Scout Gold Award winners from the San Gabriel Valley and surrounding areas. They are an all-star team from this very locale.
Honda, of course, is this morning's presenting sponsor, bringing us Nature's Hope, a collaboration of majestic parks in both Japan and the United States.
Thanks to Honda for its support of the Rose Parade. This is the perfect time to get the gift you've waited for during Happy Honda Days.
National Park.
Isn't that gorgeous? That Sanrico Fuko National Park, as you mentioned, Steph, followed by a scene reminiscent of several of America's iconic national parks. Just another example of ways we are all the same. And if you get a chance to spot those curious snow monkeys peering at the scene below, they're displaying stipa, buffalo, and white pampas grass. And they are nestled among varieties of double stock and dendrobium. We welcome our friends from Japan riding Nature's Hope by Honda.
Well, welcoming the new year is the United States Marine Corps Mounted Color Guard, the only remaining Marine Color Guard in the country. Now, these active duty Marines from Barstow are riding Palomino Mustangs adopted from the government's Adopt a Horse and Burro program. No burros there. Did you know the Palomino, by the way, and we've talked about this many times, is not a breed, it's a color. You'll find Palominos in all different kinds of horse breeds. They are really something special.
Hoorah! Did I sound like a Marine there?
Yeah.
Hoorah to the soldiers in blue of the United States Marine Corps West Coast Composite Band, directed by Chief Warrant Officer 3, Stephanie Ware. This band is comprised of fully combat-trained soldiers. They include several who have completed tours in Iraq or Afghanistan. And this Rose Parade is the only event that brings these three groups together each year. The 1st Marine Division Band, the 3rd Marine Aircraft Wing Band, and the Marine San Diego Band.
Well, let's thank these fine musicians for their service to our country. They are really special.
Commemorating the 100th anniversary of the National Park Service, Fishing Follies from South Pasadena tells a cute fish tale, and they've won the national trophy in the midst of all of this. This little fellow was out finding his own adventure until a fellow angler, formerly known as Mr. Bear, wears a hat of iron sycamore leaves, hooked him by the seat of the pants, much to the amusement of his furry friends who have the giggles. The adorable turtle models jackfruit skin and Galix leaves, rarities not often used in the Rose Parade.
And they won the national trophy, too. That's a real stream, by the way. That's fed by a spectacular mountain waterfall that's recirculating 700 gallons of water. Now, you're going to notice on your screen that there's an extra tab above, South Pasadena. You can text the word South Pass to 515151 to get more information. And you'll be able to do that for the rest of the whole parade, too. It's a great way to get more details.
There's a total of 782 members of the Allen Eagle Escadrille. It's breaking Rose Parade records this morning. The drum major is passing out something, but you don't see him yet.
Yeah, feels like the old West here. Thanks to the spirit of West riders, these men and women are equal parts equestrian, historian, and entertainer. And they all have one thing in common, a passion for preserving our Western heritage. You know, the riders represent the diverse ethnic backgrounds of the pioneers who tamed the wild frontier between 1840 and 1920. Their saddles and their outfits are historically accurate, too. The spirit of the West Riders, led by Marshal Phil Spangenberger. He's been around a long time. He's a trick rider and a shooter. Here's a beautiful band. Look at this.
Now, with 782 members, this is the Allen Eagle Escadrille, breaking Rose Parade records this morning. As the drum major passes our broadcast booth, the last players are just stepping over the starting line.
How many?
782. You can't imagine how difficult it is to hear when you're that long and wide. You can really only imagine it if you see how enormous the band is from a blimp shot. Let's listen.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. The tires chosen by experts for superior performance in challenging conditions. Goodyear, more driven. Oh, man, that's a lot of people.
Just
780. How would you like to pay the airfare on that one?
Well, I don't know how they did it.
You know, folks have been asking as we've been getting ready for our last broadcast about stories and memories we've had. There have been some great times and funny stories. I want to show you one that, well, it comes from Bob Hope.
Weren't you the Grand Marshal once?
Yep.
That's an early arrival, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. You get down there about 7:30, you know, and they feed you a little brandy and coffee. Then they put you up on the float, and you're up there for 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. Now
About an hour out, I had to go. You know, when I got off that float, I ran around the corner and told the cop to lay Chicky, and I must have watched a Chevrolet down the street.
Well, a little potty humor. We take it from Bob Hope, though, don't we?
Yeah, we sure do.
As it happens, starting tonight, we can all watch the Johnny Carson Show on Antenna TV.
How about that? Johnny Carson was a mentor of mine, by the way. I always say so much by saying so little. You know, in fact, you were on that show 14 times, weren't you?
Yes, only once with Johnny, because the next morning they asked him, do you want her back? He said, no, she's got nothing to say. But 13 of his guest hosts welcomed me, and I had a great time.
Hey, let's get back to the Allen, Texas band, okay?
Okay. We had some good times, Bob.
I know we have. Some great hair, too. It's been fun going through all the old photographs to reminisce about our more than 3 decades.
You know, it's no wonder people thought we were married with some of these poses. And Bob, your sweaters is what I'm going to remember.
Yeah?
Yep.
Don't get smart, kid. Wow, look at that. They do things big in Texas, don't they?
They're still coming. Can you imagine? I do not know how they can be playing in unison. There must be some technical trick that I just haven't heard about. I've never seen anything like it.
Hey, I've got some stats for you to blow you away. This school has over 1,900 wind players in grades 6 through 12. They actually sold mattresses in order to kind of get money to come here. And I don't blame them. It's great. 782 members. Wow.
Micah, what's up next, buddy? Hey, we got something coming around the bend here. that I think you'll enjoy. When technology is turned off and you find yourself in the mountains, now close your eyes and imagine. You can let your imagination run wild, just like the folks at Western Asset Management did. So you imagine yourself in the nearby San Gabriel Mountains with the local wildlife, deer of thick pampas grass bounding right by as you tiptoe through a bed of lavender cats, white freesia, lily of the valley, and salt cedar. And there's a bear fishing for salmon in the nearby stream. Her fur bristles with red corn silk, uva grass, and palm fiber as that slippery fish of blue status and cream linaria slips right through her paws. And rising majestically behind it all, look at that 28-foot tall giant redwood, known scientifically as Sequoia sempervirens, the tallest trees in the world, and they are found right here in California. Congratulations, Western Asset Management, on a wonderful job done.
Gorgeous.
Really nice, really nice. We want to wish you all a very happy New Year. Bob Eubanks, Stephanie Edwards, Michael Ullman. We're here for the most wonderful parade in the world, and Wells Fargo stagecoaches have been rolling through Southern California, well, you know, for 162 years, since the days of the Pony Express, and they're led by their hitch of quarter horse and Mustangs. On board, military veterans to the Warriors, and the Warriors to Summit program, which provides adventure expeditions for veterans with disabilities. They're guided by the principle, what's within you is stronger than what's in your way. Wells Fargo. And I got to tell you something about Wells Fargo. What a wonderful, wonderful organization this is, because they're really a community bank. I took my little boy to a soccer tournament during Thanksgiving. We walked out on the field, and what does it say? Wells Fargo presents. They're just part of the community, led by Lisa Stevens, and here in the western part of the United States, and my hats go off to you, Wells Fargo.
It's just beautiful. We're waiting for something I love to come around the bend, and while we do, you'll notice on your screen that there's an extra tab above the name of the entry. You can text 515151 with the phrase provided for each float to get more information, and there's tons of information. You can get information on our audience too by watching
Tons of people.
You can get all those fun facts that we just don't have time to share on the air, and there's a phenomenal parade we never get to talk about, really.
Hey, you know what? And Stephanie, as long as we've been doing this parade, there's only one fear we have. You look up Colorado Boulevard to Orange Grove, and nothing is coming around the corner.
But you know, if there's anybody worth waiting for, it is who's coming around the bend.
Hey, can I say something too, though? Following the parade, I'm going to tell you about this now, folks. The Rose Parade, you walk within feet of the floral and animated masterpieces, the floats, that are parked along Sierra Madre and Washington Boulevard. So if you want to go see them, you can take a closer look at the design and workmanship and learn all about the floats and everything. It is really something special after the parade.
And you know, there are people who live right there.
I know that.
So they stay overnight, they have a little coffee in the morning, they come out to the terrace, and there they are. All right. While we have a chance also, there are thousands and thousands of volunteers who are the Rose Parade. You know, all the white suiters, they volunteer. They have
by the way,
lives. They have full-time jobs.
Yeah, the white suiters. Stephanie and I have the honor of being awarded. We're honorary members of the Tournament of Roses Association.
Yes.
We have our own white coats.
We're going to create havoc, let me tell you. Now, was this worth waiting for? The answer is yes. If you're a fan of Masterpiece Theater's Downton Abbey, we don't need to tell you what you're looking at. The final season begins in the United States on January 3rd, 2 days from now. They're calling this, the name of the float, is The Final Adventure. It's their last episode. Now you see a 1919 Bentley Blue Label crossing the bridge carrying Lady Grantham herself. I think she's there on the left. Emmy-nominated Elizabeth McGovern, you'll recognize her right away. She's riding with the CEO of PBS. That's Elizabeth.
Really?
And Paula Kerger is sitting next to her. Now, the Downton Abbey estate, which is actually Highclere Castle estate in real life, this is where the upper-class Crawley family and their downstairs serving staff reside, you know, about the early 1900s. Listen to this. Its walls include a detailed palette of golden flax, sesame seeds, walnut shell, and millet, with a dusting of ground cloves and cinnamon. This all gives it a weathered quality. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Too wonderful. You think I watched this program?
Man, look at that's a beautiful
now,
float.
and look at, well, the tower. You'll see it again. The castle tower was decorated separately and hoisted onto the float just this morning. And it's on an elevator that allows it to drop down into the castle center so that it can pass under the bridges, the obstacles on the parade route, you see.
It won the Queen's Trophy, didn't it?
It won the Queen's Trophy because it's a masterpiece.
Well, speaking of awards, guess who won the Craftsman's Trophy? Ha ha! Right here. Farmers Insurance, that's who. Whether on the open road, on the water, or in the country, Farmers Insurance is going along for the ride, highlighting all kinds of ways to journey through life. A split pea and parsley green Lady Liberty looks on as a band of eager road trippers bust down Route 66. I've done that before. And the recreational vehicles are so detailed that the trailer's canopy is striped in lavender and yellow mums, while the flower boxes get their wooden look from brown coffee, if you can imagine that. Farmers took the adventure theme and ran with it, and our congratulations. They won the Craftsman Trophy. So Chuck Browning, Mark Toohey, Bart Baker, you're the best. Congratulations.
Terrific.
You guys are wonderful.
Speaking of the National Park Service, they're celebrating 100 years of patriotic duty, maintaining the magnificence and beauty of America's rugged landscapes and scenic vistas. So much park history is represented here today. Please pay attention to this. The Grand Marshal will personify it coming up. Riding with Park Service Director John Jarvis are several rangers and junior rangers. First Lady Michelle Obama has a special message for us, encouraging everyone to discover America's national parks.
Wow. Really, really nice.
I'm thrilled to join you all in celebrating the 100th anniversary of the National Park Service. As part of this celebration, Mrs. Laura Bush and I are challenging every American to get out and find your park. So get out there and have some fun and experience all of the beauty and history our great country has to offer. Thank you, and God bless.
Lovely.
Really lovely. Okay. The National Park Service cares for 408 parks, 23 scenic and historical trails, and 58 wild and scenic rivers across the nation. And the wagon is fully functional. It's Yosemite stagecoach from the early 1800s. And to this day, horses and mules are still the very best way to carry food and gear to the park workers in remote wilderness areas. And to share your own park experience and memories, go to findyourpark.com on social media. Hashtag #FindYourPark.
You use all that, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I'm computer illiterate. All right, happy 25th anniversary to the red and blue Cowboys of Wyoming All-State Marching Band from Cheyenne, under the direction of Dan Holroyd.
Closed captioning of the Rose Parade presented by Honda Broadcast is brought to you by Sizzler.
Students representing 32 different Wyoming communities and 27 high school programs make up this ensemble. By the way, one of the drum majors from the very first Wyoming All-State Band, formed in 1991, has 2 children who are marching today.
Were we there yet?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Rose Parade, presented by Honda,
Fantastic.
Wyoming All-State Marching Band. You know, like many band members participating today, a good number of these musicians left their state for the very first time to march in the Rose Parade. The opportunity to travel, meet people, and march after months of hard work creates citizens of the world. Pretty nice, huh?
Yes.
All right, Micah, who's next, buddy?
Our good friend, and a big happy new year to Mike Matheson, this year's president of the Tournament of Roses. Get this, he began his tenure as a kid in 1969, selling parade tickets from a kiosk right here on Colorado Boulevard. How's that for a story? He's riding along in a fully restored 1925 Glacier touring bus, along with his wife Ann, her father George, and the rest of the family. And there's a sweet shot of Ann's son Greg riding along on a Tournament of Roses scooter, as he is also a longtime white suitor, which is what tournament volunteers are called. We're all so thankful for the work they do. And there he is giving a New Year's salute. And did you know Mike and his wife Ann, Bob and Steph, went through many iterations of today's theme, Find Your Adventure, and were finally inspired to this call to action by our national parks and their invitation to the life-affirming outdoor adventures that await.
All right, and following the Grand Marshal.
We are so pleased with the tournament's invitation to this man as Grand Marshal. Ken Burns, the renowned documentarian, rides in a 1925 Yellowstone touring bus with his wife Julie and their daughters Olivia and Willa.
You know, Ken Burns is known for an innovative shooting and editing style, aptly named the Ken Burns Effect. His documentaries, I should say, combine archival footage, photographs, elegant narration. They create a rich, moving history of America. Congratulations to Ken Burns. He is our Grand Marshal.
He is loved.
Okay, South Dakota Department of Tourism brings us great faces and great places of South Dakota, home to 71,800 Native Americans from 9 different tribes. Look
Imported native symbols like the palm fiber buffalo and her calf, a pinto horse, majestic bald eagle, all against a backdrop of glowing cliffs. And of course, you know the presidents are there. Washington, Jefferson, Teddy Roosevelt, Lincoln. It's quite a lovely piece, I must say. And we have not seen South Dakota in the parade before. This is their first time. Love to have them here.
You know, Steph, horses are my favorite animals, and I look forward each year to sharing these big, beautiful creatures. These are the Dakota Thunder Shires. They're perfect specimens, by the way. This is the heaviest horse in the world. When full grown, it can weigh up to 2,700 pounds. And in the wagon are the owner, Houston Huggo, and his wife, Judith, who are celebrating the 50th wedding anniversary today. How about that? Along with their family. Congratulations to you guys, and welcome with your Shires. Micah, this is the Governor's, I understand.
Yeah, we've got a congratulations going out to Scott's Miracle Grow, winners of the Governor's Trophy for Best Depiction of Life in California. And here we go. It's a vibrant garden setting, encouraging us all to find adventure in our own backyard. And there is so much of it to be had in the great state of California. Busy bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds flowered in blue and hot pink status. Chartreuse moss and purple dendrobium orchid petals are hard at work as nature's pollinators. An important part of the locally grown floral industry, Miracle Grow is dedicated to supporting. And there you see Ty Pennington of Extreme Makeover Home Edition. He is one of 4 Miracle Growers on the float today who actually contributed blooms from their own backyards. Isn't that cool? And a quick did you know, one reason the Rose Parade came to be was to showcase California's ability to grow flowers year-round. I think Miracle Grow really captured the natural beauty of the Golden State there for all to see.
Boy, he could say dendrobium, but I can't.
He certainly can, and he's much younger, of course.
Makes me mad, that's all I can tell you. Good grief, Charlie Brown.
What a wonderful float.
Bob Eubanks, Stephanie Edwards, Michael Ullman. We're in Pasadena, California for the 127th Tournament of Roses Parade, and
you know,
we welcome you.
I'm still saying things like jeepers.
Are you really?
Well, because you have no superlatives that work. It's just too wonderful every single year.
Wow, jeepers. Okay, hark. It's the Herald Trumpets from Pasadena City College, directed by Kevin Brown on his 33rd trip to the Rose Parade, presented by Honda. Listen to them now. These 9 trumpeteers are selected from over 70 auditioning high schoolers They've led the Rose Parade and her court every year since the early 1980s. And thanks for another great year as pageant leaders, Pasadena City College Herald Trumpers. I went to Pasadena City College.
Did you graduate?
No, I went there for 2 weeks. Hey.
I didn't even know that. I didn't mean to lead you to that
I was
admission.
a quick learner. Oh, gosh.
What was your major?
I'm not sure.
Talking.
But you know what was cool about Pasadena City College then? They always took all of the participants to be Rose Queens.
Yeah.
They took them from the Pasadena City College.
Yes.
So the first semester, some of the best-looking women in the world
I
went to Pasadena City College.
I
And then
see.
the last semester,
No. The plot thins. We
Yeah.
must move
Hey,
right along.
Don't forget the Big Ten Iowa Hawkeyes and the Pac-12 Stanford Cardinals will kick off the 102 Rose Bowl game this afternoon on ESPN at 2:10 p.m. Pacific time.
Oh, there's a game.
Yeah, there's a game, and there's a lot of happy people down there, too.
It is a perfect day. Nobody's too cold. Everybody is thrilled. And may I just say that the economy seems to have come back, if you use the Rose Parade as a measure.
Okay.
The floats and the bands affording to get here by themselves
Getting
is a
political,
success.
aren't you?
Say now, from 900 candidates, these 7 young women have been invited to represent the Tournament of Roses as its royal court. Queen Erica Karen Winter, 18, happens to come from the KTLA family. We have to say it.
How about
She's
that?
the daughter of Assistant News Director Christine Knutson and Tim Winter. She is joined by Princesses Bryce Bakewell, Donnelly Marquez, Natalie Hernandez-Barber, Rochelle Liu, Regina Pullins, and Sarah Shacklin. They're high school seniors. They have tremendous poise, impressive speaking ability, academic achievement, and community and school involvement.
Our congratulations. Okay, even more royalty. The King and Princess of the Medieval Times dinner and tournament in Buena Park. Nothing sells adventure like knights on horseback. Following gallantly behind the royals are the King's Guard, the Lord Chancellor, and other characters from the Southern California dinner show. And they're riding these incredible horses. This is these are such beautiful, beautiful animals. Now, this horse is the foundation of most American breeds right here in America. They're not very fast, but they're very agile. And you'll notice that the mane and tail are long and frequently very, very wavy. They're just beautiful, beautiful horses.
Did you mention Catherine Sears?
No, but you can.
Our friend Catherine Sears, who's the
that's
daughter
right.
of former KTLA anchor Jan Carl, is riding. You know, she's supposed to be a baby, and she ain't. What
Wow.
happened?
Looks like her
Oh,
mom.
She does. Oh, it's so good to see her. Good to see her.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Now, here comes some superb Georgia peaches. The Albany State University Marching Rams under the director of Michael DeCreer.
Thank you, McDonald's, for bringing today's Rose Parade presented by Honda into our homes without commercial interruption. I'm loving it.
Grammy Award-winning artist T-Pain performed at Albany State's homecoming celebration to help raise money for this group's trip to Pasadena. The director has dreamt of being in the parade since he was a child, and Mike Matheson, the president this year, became a very good friend of his. You know, the president visits all these bands who have been invited to come. It's quite a year for the president, and they make good friends often.
Good band. Good band.
Lovely.
Congratulations to the Albany State Marching Band. How come Micah gets all the big ones?
He's
Here's the
just one
Grand
lucky
Marshal's
dude.
Trophy.
Yeah, go, Micah.
Well, we're enjoying our bird's eye view and have to share it as often as we can. As you look over my shoulder, you can see the iconic bend from Orange Grove to Colorado Boulevard as the floats and the horses and the bands begin their 5.5-mile trek down Colorado Boulevard. And as you mentioned, Bob, the Grand Marshal's Trophy goes to Kaiser Permanente. They're helping Mother Nature thrive so everyone has a chance to enjoy the outdoors. That Grand Marshal's Trophy for excellence in creative concept and design. Frankly, one of my favorites, I have to say. Look at that, a graceful sweep of her arms stretching 55 feet in length. Mother Nature takes in the splendors of her creation. Majestic monarch butterflies with wings made of yellow and gold straw flower and dehydrated carrots, fluttering through trees created from 20,000 orchids.
Wow.
Congratulations, Kaiser.
Yeah, really nice.
This
Okay,
comes,
coming up now.
Excuse me, I was just going to say this comes from Fiesta Floats and a new designer named Stan Myers. We're going to see more of him.
You bet we are.
Wonderful gift.
Okay, we're going to salute the birthday of the Park Service. We recognize the Buffalo Soldiers, some of the very first National Park Rangers. These are the new Buffalo Soldiers, honoring the first all-African-American regiment in the United States military, formed in 1867. I found it interesting that 1/4 of all the cowboys in the Old West were African-Americans. Really nice. These volunteers pay tribute to the men who served with little recognition in their own lifetime.
The Virginia Military Institute Regimental Band and Pipes joins us from our country's oldest state military college under the direction of Colonel John Brody and Bert Mitchell.
The 2016 Rose Parade, presented by Honda, is brought to you without commercial interruption by Covered California. It's more than just healthcare, it's life care.
You know, none of the VMI student bagpipers had prior experience with the bagpipe. They were trained from scratch when they joined this unit.
That's
Bagpipe
amazing.
is not easy to play yet.
I imagine you would know, because
Married to
a
one.
lot of windy.
Yeah.
Oh, now, here. This is whoever says the seasons don't change in California hasn't seen this float. Wild and wonderful from West Virginia University Children's Hospital, where the weather is changing right before our eyes.
Yes,
Look
now,
at this.
thanks to WVU and the Children's Miracle Network, they can enjoy the array of activities West Virginia offers: golfing, biking, whitewater rafting, fishing, skiing, and the arts. Something for every season. We see snow.
You bet we do. Change is an integral part of the hospital's mission. Several of the kids on board have received life-changing, even life-saving treatments. And one of the golfers, Jordan Beland, was just days old when he had open heart surgery. At 11, he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and here he is today, thanks to WVU Children's Hospital. God bless them all.
We rejoice. We rejoice. Keels, since 1851, captures the beauty of adventure through a floral design of unique heritage. It has won the Crown City Innovation Trophy for the best use of imagination and innovation to advance the art of floral design. It has the hand of Jim Hind, floral director, all over it. Keels test their goods in all of the geographical locations exhibited here. What a piece of work. They do this so that they can keep skin healthy at any extreme. That's what they're known for, Keels.
Look at that guy. Who's the guy in the motorcycle?
Chris Salgado, I believe, the CEO of Keels since 1851. Aha.
Very nice indeed.
Wonderful. Now then, help me out here, ladies and gentlemen. Ohio Osiris. Ohio Osiris. That is good morning in Japanese, I hope. To the Toho High School Green Band, all the way from Nagoya, Japan, directed by Minato Shiraya. This band is known for its precise styling. How do they do that? They practice over 4 hours on weekdays and 8 hours on weekends. And the director runs his rehearsals with a bamboo sword.
Tomo arigato.
He doesn't hurt anybody, but they're pretty fine, aren't they?
Aren't they ever, though? How nice. And thanks for making the trip. Okay, here's the winner of the Founders Trophy, City of Downey. From sunny California to the tropics of South Florida, the city of Downey is exploring the Everglades. Everglades National Park is home to 36 threatened or protected species, including the Florida panther, which is resting atop a stone arch while her cubs frolic among the mangrove trees.
You know, a trophy that comes to a float that is built by a community is especially wonderful when they win an award. Jason Red Fox from the city of Downey has won this award for the most beautiful built and decorated by volunteers for a community or an organization. That is wonderful work.
Congratulations to the city of Downey.
By the way, intrepid explorers on board there are the Downey Court, Princesses Lauren Martinez, Crystal Cerna, Haley Griffith, and Ken Gonzalez.
Scripps Miramar Ranch pays tribute to America's very first national park, Yellowstone, established in 1872 by President Ulysses S. Grant. And if you visited the park in the late 1800s, you have ridden in one of these authentic Yellowstone wagons built specifically to carry sightseers. That's Carson Kelsey. You probably know him from RuPaul's Drag Race, but you probably didn't know that he's ridden many of the world's champion horses, and they are his true passion. These are American saddlebred horses. Let me tell you a little bit about this horse. They're born with 3 gaits, and then they are trained 2 more gaits, which is a slow prancing, and then also the full rack. This horse was actually developed in Rhode Island, of all things. It was originally part Morgan, and they are a very proud horse. They really are. And see how they step? Yeah.
Are there 3 gaits anything like the 3 kinds of glue that are used to put petals on the floats?
OMG.
Say, oh look, I see our friends, the helpful Honda dealers, in their Honda Blue. They've taken a family who was sitting on the parade route and they upgraded them to grandstand seats. Well, that's kind of cute. They look happy. They're warm. They're wearing new Honda Snuggies. Another random act of helpfulness.
You
pretty precious.
Interrupted me. I was talking about
so
these
sorry.
horses.
You go
and they're
right
so
on.
beautiful. Oh, they're gone. We've been fighting for years, folks, and it won't stop.
We've just been passed a note.
What's that?
By Jenny O'Hagan, our executive producer, who's sitting right over here.
What'd you get?
24 of the floats in the parade will be given special recognition by a panel of 3 judges.
Yeah, who are the judges this year?
We're explaining voting.
Yeah.
Tom Bowling is the Director of Education for Syndicate Sales.
Okay.
Timothy Lindsay oversees restoration, preservation, and programming for the Virginia Robinson Gardens in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And Jody Peterson, landscape architect for the National Park Service at the Denver Service Center. So they know what they're looking at.
Yeah.
That's the deal.
They've done a good job, too. Okay, here comes the Union Bank float.
Okay. I'll find it in just a second. Is this the one that...
Here's a float with a lot of
go ahead.
heart. Actually,
you take it, Bob. You take
Union
it.
of Hearts from Union Bank. This year marks 30 in their partnership with the American Heart Association, supporting the organization's focus on a heart-healthy lifestyle.
And you see Kaylin Graham, just 10 years old. She lives with a dangerous heart condition. She has endured more than 30 surgeries, including a heart transplant. She is a fighter, and we say, bless you, Kaylin.
Yeah.
There's that little 10-year-old, I think, right there.
God's
She's
little
doing
angels.
great. Next to her, the former San Francisco 49er and 4-time Super Bowl champ, Jesse Zapolu.
Good for you.
Wowzers.
He hid his life-threatening heart condition through his entire 15-year NFL career.
Wow.
Something else.
He just wrote a book recounting his experiences. It was called I Gave My Heart to San Francisco. Wow. One of the characters on this float, Lub Dub, pink carnations, dapper friend, pumping iron, a very cute float.
Lub Dub, huh? Micah, what do you got, a band?
Yeah, we're looking at the Plymouth Canton Educational Park, and they're returning to the Rose Parade after 43 years. The Plymouth Canton Educational Park Marching Band, and they're directed by David Armbruster and Jonathan Thoman.
This morning's live telecast is presented to you by the helpful SoCal Honda dealers who wish you a happy and helpful new year.
Plymouth Canton and all the high school bands marching today would not be here without the help of their band booster organizations. They make miracles happen to get these people on planes.
Wow.
It's just astonishing, and we thank the parents and the teachers who are dedicated to these kids.
Doggone, look what happened to the Isabel Coleman Trophy Award winner. Look what happened.
For color and color harmony with floral use.
It's being towed.
I know, but you know, it doesn't ruin it at all.
No.
It comes to us from Paradiso. Charles Meyer designed it, and it is a wonderful use of color and color harmony in flowers. Donate Life reminds us to treasure life's journey with an opulent desert scene. Organ and tissue donation, like this float, is an oasis that renews hope and sustains life. These are names of carnations: Bizet, Tiepolo, Moonlight, and Cinderella. The baskets the blankets, they're carnation woven blankets draping Mr. Camel, I think it is.
Yeah.
And he is of cinnamon dusted sheet moss fur. It's a marvelous piece of
You know,
work.
all the writers are transplant recipients embracing life's journey thanks to organ and tissue donation. Some of those generous living donors walk alongside, and you can register to become a donor by visiting donatelifeamerica.org.
Here's how important it can be.
Beautiful.
60 fluorograph portraits are all of deceased organ donors who saved people's lives.
Well, congratulations. They won the Isabella Coleman Trophy.
Wonderful. Now, the theme trophy has been won by the city of Burbank.
Good.
Are we there yet, is the question. The Raccoon family wants to know. They're speeding away from the city of Burbank on a last-minute vacation. There's a baby skunk, black Asian moss, raw cotton. He's narrowly avoiding calamity as his parents, Ralph and Rita Raccoon, barrel over the bridge in their 1948 Ford Woody, armored with 8,000 Kahlua burgundy cushion mums. Daughter Rebecca captains the kayak strapped on top, determined to conquer some rapids.
Hey, we're having raccoon trouble at our house.
So I hear.
They're digging up the lawn.
They're rolling it up, you say?
Yeah, they roll it up. It's amazing. Well, Burbank's float design winner, Linda Kozakos, member of the Tournament of Roses, is the first white suitor ever to design a parade float.
Good for her.
Pretty neat, huh?
For the 97th year, we are pleased, I'm just going to delay, there we are, to salute the Salvation Army Tournament of Roses Band, directed by Kevin Larson. Now let me quickly tell you why the sound is different. Well, I'll tell you in a minute.
Stay tuned for a special encore of the 127th Rose Parade presented by Honda, immediately following this telecast right here on KTLA 5.
They're being joined today by the Yorkshire Divisional Youth Band from Leeds, United Kingdom. They sound a bit different
Why
this
does
year.
it sound different?
Well, because we've got different kinds of bands playing together. Now, Yorkshire is recognized as the home of brass bands. So they're right in step with this band, of course. Each musician an active member of a local Salvation Army Corps. So they share some of the same music book, but there's a different sound to this with people from two different countries playing together. I love it. The Salvation Army bands are multi-generational. Musicians are age 15 to 75. Some have marched for over 40 years.
Well, the past President's Trophy was won by this float that Mike is going to tell you all about.
Bob and Stephanie, look at the Northwestern Mutual float. Isn't it beautiful? Dancing into adventure. So the past President's Trophy awards most creative design and use of both floral and non-floral materials, and they have really done it. They're capturing the aspirations of the brave ballerina at its helm. Let's tell you about 13-year-old Peyton. She's riding with parents Carrie and Roger. She has been battling cancer since early 2015. The family has been dedicated to sharing Peyton's story to help raise awareness and support for childhood cancer. And what better way to do it than on New Year's Day, when so many millions are watching across the country and around the world. And we know Peyton dreams of traveling the globe herself to watch and work with the world's greatest ballet dancers. And this Swan Lake inspired float represents that dream. And you see there the landmarks from some of the most famous ballet cities. There, of course, is the Big Ben, the Sydney Opera House as well, sitting on an ornate music box of golden flax, clover seed, and more than 10,000 pink sweet Aikido roses. This is a beautiful float, and our wishes to 13-year-old Peyton this New Year's Day.
Oh, for sure. God bless her, little angel. Wow. Okay. We're so pleased to welcome the University of Iowa Hawkeyes. They're thrilled to be facing Stanford today, especially since it's been 25 years since their last turn in the Rose Bowl. Cornerback Desmond King recently won the Jim Thorpe Award, which is given to the top defensive back in the country. With 8 interceptions, he had the most in the Big Ten. We should also note that Kurt Ferentz won the Big Ten Coach of the Year. Congratulations to Desmond and Kurt. By the way, these two teams have never faced each other, so we'll look forward to watching Midwestern Iowa challenge the Pacific Coast opponent, Stanford. It's going to be a good game.
Now, contrary to popular belief, there's a lot more than corn in Iowa. Make way for the Hawkeye Marching Band from the University of Iowa, directed by Richard Mark Heidel and Kevin Castens.
Thanks to Jack in the Box for sponsoring this morning's live broadcast of the 2016 Rose Parade presented by Honda.
A big round of applause for the University of Iowa Hawkeye Marching Band.
Boy, they're going to be tired today. 5.5 miles, they're marching now. And then they have to go to the Rose Bowl, and they're going to do their whole big thing there.
The baton twirler is Whitney Secker Anderson in her 4th season as the university's Golden Girl. This position receives one of 2 full tuition scholarships available to feature twirlers in the nation.
If I really learned this,
yeah, you would have had a scholarship.
Yeah,
that's where you went wrong.
Yeah. Darn. Peter the Anteater cannot believe his luck to be spending New Year's morning enjoying science, I should say, and declaring innovation rocks for the Irvine Chamber of Commerce, world-renowned for top-notch education from Mrs. Hurwitz's kindergarten to its University of California science labs. Irvine makes learning extraordinary.
You see vibrant purple and blue delphiniums framing the floral lab, yellow lily buttons, mums, roses, and hydrangeas. They're mixed with tulips, white cymbidiums, and pink beehive ginger. Did you know about pink beehive ginger?
No, but I'm glad you had to say it, not me.
There's more to be learned, and now we're leaving. It just breaks my heart. They represent a colorful diversity of the safest city in the country, Irvine.
Isn't that something? The safest city. Wow.
Wow.
Hey, if you love the Rose Parade presented by Honda, you can thank this group right here, the Valley Hunt Club, the Pasadena organization that came up with this brilliant idea more than a century ago.
In 1890, club members, all former residents of the East Coast and the Midwest, created a Blossom Festival to celebrate California's warm winter weather. They organized chariot races, and there was an elephant with a camel racing, and jousting and other games, and a parade to showcase the abundance of flowers. And it almost became the Orange Parade rather than the Rose Parade, because there was a bad crop of roses when they first got started.
Hey, by the way, a big thanks to the Tournament of Roses led by Executive Director Bill Flynn. You can show your parade love on social media using the hashtag Tournament of Roses. They do a great job.
We must thank the Gerben Leyendecker family. The carriage is driven by him. It's pulled by 4 Frisians. Both the Leyendecker family and their horses hail from the Netherlands. We love them, and they've been a staple of this parade.
Speaking of carriages, look here. We have a new mayor of Pasadena to introduce. Terry Tornick has stepped into the role previously held by our friend Bill Bogart. Terry and his wife Maria have been married for an impressive 48 years, have 3 children and 7 grandchildren. A successful real estate developer by trade, Mayor Tornick brings extensive experience to his new role and is already deeply involved in Pasadena's financial planning. Welcome to the Rose Parade, presented by Honda, sir. And congratulations for being the new mayor.
It's time to enjoy thoroughly local sound right now from the Pasadena City College Honor Band, directed by Kyle Luck. Norma Quijano is the second ever female drum major for this ensemble. She led the Los Angeles Unified School District in the Rose Parade as a high schooler. Pretty impressive.
Did
pretty
I tell
impressive.
you I went to Pasadena City? Yeah, I guess I did. Very nice indeed. Bob Eubanks, Stephanie Edwards, Michael Ullman. We're in Pasadena, California for the 127th Tournament of Roses Parade. It's a beautiful day. The temperatures are going to be about 65 degrees, and I can hear everybody in the Midwest packing their suitcases and getting ready to come out here. So come on down. All right. We're in for a great treat now as Mother Armenia invites us all to discover Armenia. She's bedecked in split pea, oregano, and seeds of lettuce, poppy, and onions, too.
The American Armenian Rose Float Association's gorgeous presentation. It's remarkable. It includes more than 16,000 flowers depicting famous Armenian symbols and destinations. My friend Abe says Armenia is an open museum. It is such a beautiful place.
Really?
We Are the Mountains Monument, for instance, is shown here. Artistically shadowed to create depth. Wonderful there. Elena Abovian is an Emmy Award-nominated journalist and reporter for KTLA 5 News. And Araxia Karapetian is an anchor woman on Good Day LA. We've got some media folk here.
Wow.
Lovely. It's just beautiful.
Very, very nice.
You see the Jermuk waterfalls. You see the Tatev Monastery, the Garni Gorge, which is home to the gorge, home to the Symphony of Stones. It shows well-preserved basalt columns carved by the Goat River. So there's a great history story here.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Very,
lesson.
very beautiful. Micah, who's the other football team?
I want to say hello to the Stanford Cardinal. They are, of course, back in Pasadena just 2 years after their 2014 Rose Bowl game, eager to put their #1 Pac-12 ranking to the test, of course, facing Iowa's #1 Big Ten ranking. And starting running back Christian McCaffrey was a Heisman Trophy runner-up for Stanford and winner of the Hornig Award in 2015. Talk about a star, and it runs in the blood. He's the son of former NFL great and Super Bowl champ himself, Ed McCaffrey. And after their oh-so-close 38-36 loss to Oregon, Stanford looking forward to taking on Iowa for the 2016 Rose Bowl title coming up later today. The Stanford Cardinal, Bob, I know you know this. They're named after the color and not the bird, hence Stanford Cardinal.
I didn't know that. I thought they were named after the bird. Huh. What do I know?
There's always something to learn, isn't there?
Yeah.
Here come the signature white fishing hats. of the Leland Stanford Junior University Marching Band,
Look at they're running.
led by drum major Peter Sippy Cup Adelson. That's what he likes to be called.
Sippy Cup?
Uh-huh. Stanford is my kind of band.
Yeah. Let's watch him run and listen to him play.
This broadcast of the 2016 Rose Parade presented by Honda is brought to you by Mozart in the Jungle, an Amazon original series. Stream now with Prime.
That was the Stanford tree you saw there. You know what? This band can be hired for your wedding
Oh, good.
or your retirement party,
Yeah,
Bob.
my wife is the #1 wedding planner in all of Southern California. Do
Really?
you know that?
No.
Bella
no.
Vita Events.
Uh-huh. Well, there you have it.
Yeah, I thought I'd put that plug in.
The equestrian entry. Tell us about it, Bob.
Oh, sure. Whether through the mountains, forests, plains, or deserts, riders from the American Endurance Ride Conference explore the world from the back of a horse. This is an unusual group. You know, technology has taken over, and so I didn't think as many people were interested in horses. See that lady right there?
Yeah.
She is 91 years young.
What?
Now, these are marathon runners. They often ride 25 to 100 miles a day. And look at, God bless her. You know, there are a lot of people interested in horses, and if you live in Southern California, Pierce College has an incredible agricultural and equine program out there. And then for the English riding, Foxfield out in Thousand Oaks has a wonderful program also.
Now, the senior rider you're looking at the
Yeah.
left, Julie Suhr.
Isn't that something, though?
My goodness.
They ride 25 to 100 miles in a single day. Their motto is to finish is to win. And some of them have completed more than 30,000 miles in their lives.
Now, Julie's horse has a mind of its own, but she's getting some help there.
91 years old.
Wowzers.
I love her. I love
Yep,
her.
she's moving ahead.
Look at that.
Bless
God
her
bless
heart.
her.
Now, there's a brainy float coming along. It extols the miracle of science with soul, presented by the City of Hope. These athlete cancer survivors look forward to long, active lives thanks to the efforts of City of Hope's research and treatment. The survivors are not defined by their cancer. They're gymnasts, surfers, mountain climbers, all types of athletes. I know a few, Bob, who have been given a new lease on life at the City of Hope. And who's that?
That's a brain surgeon. His name is Dr. Raul Jondial, and there's also Dr. Betty Farrell. They represent our nation's leading medical professionals committed to saving lives and finding a cure. God bless them. Hey, by the way, the telescope of black seaweed represents City of Hope's focus on the future of their patients. Isn't that special?
For the nature lover in all of us, Lions Club International provides wilderness experiences with something called Camps for All Abilities. You will see a curious raccoon peering out from a fallen log and spies canoes floating on a lake of blue statice and iris. Around them, an expedition of outdoorsy folks enjoying beds of teddy bear yellow sunflowers, cattails, and pussy willows.
Raccoons are after me.
The Lions Clubs, you know, throughout the world provide camping activities to hundreds of thousands of youngsters and adults, regardless of age or ability.
All right, looks like our friends from Disneyland are up to something really special. Hey, let's check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, join us now as we proudly celebrate 60 years of magic at the happiest place on earth. It's Disneyland's dazzling 60th anniversary. Step into the magic, find your adventure, and make your Disney dream come true.
Come on, everybody. Let's celebrate.
It's a world where you belong, where you can dream aloud. Your heart will follow. Get up and sing along. The moment's here and now. Come on, we can
Walt Disney said 60 years ago,
as long as there is imagination left in the world, Disneyland will never be complete.
60 years of magic.
Hey, we have some wonderful news for you. Stephanie and I would like to introduce you to my friend Lisa Gibbons and Mark Steinis. And of course, you already know them from Entertainment Tonight. Lisa from Celebrity Apprentice and Mark from Home and Family.
We brought you two up here so that you'd know what you're in, what you're going to experience. We have been keeping these seats warm for over 3 decades, and we've presided over enough. It's up to you now, and we love you.
It's yours.
Never enough. We love you guys so much, as does everyone watching. Thank you for being just so darn good at what you do, for your friendship, both on camera and off.
Yes.
And you've just been touchstones for a lot of celebrations. So Mark and I could really never take your place, but we are so happy and so humbled to take your seats. And with your blessing, we'll do our best to
Don't make me cry.
continue with this tradition.
Well, I can't think of a better place to be on January 1st than up here and seeing this wonderful parade from this perspective. But I think I'm most grateful for and thankful for the fun and the laughter, and especially the hope the two of you have brought to 35 January 1st in all the homes around this wonderful country. So it is a privilege, and we're going to make a promise, right, Lisa, that
That's it.
we're going to make you proud.
Oh,
we're
bless
going to
you.
make you so
You
proud.
shall.
Call me if we don't.
You will.
You have done.
We know you will. So bundle up, get warm, and practice saying chrysanthemums
Yeah.
and dendrobiums.
Please. And we're 60 feet in the air, so
Yeah.
don't drink much coffee.
No,
Oh,
for sure.
good point.
Important tip.
point.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Congratulations, you guys.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to
Thank you.
KTLA, and I know we'll all be out there supporting both of them. Oh, and the Disney, you know, we're going to support them, but let's support Disney because that was a wonderful show they just put on.
They're flawless.
Yeah.
They're flawless.
The extraordinary trophy winners, too. There's
Look
some
at
of
the
the
little
thousands
peeps.
and thousands of people that are here at this marvelous, marvelous
little
float.
peeps. You know, you saw, of course, what every little girl in the world can tell you about. Elsa's ice castle from Frozen. Don't start singing the song. We'll never get any further ahead.
Okay.
The icy hue that they have, by the way, is from blue status. It's a very tough color to find in nature, and they have accomplished that. What's going on down there in the street?
Well, see, there you can see where the Disney float is turning from Orange Grove to
yes.
Colorado Boulevard. The parade actually starts on Orange Grove and then comes to Colorado. Where we're sitting here, a gentleman by the name of Klaus Landsberg, way back in the 40s, picked this location as the best location to see the parade, and we're very happy that we are up here representing KTLA Channel 5, Hallmark Channel, and all of the wonderful people across the nation.
Do you know there are 650,000 flowers in Cinderella's castle alone?
Really?
And it dazzles with 220 hand-carved diamonds of white coconut.
Hey, and I'll tell you another thing. Disneyland here in Southern California, they're closing down some of the rides because they're going to build this incredible Star Wars facility, and it's going to be really, really special.
Little girls are standing in front of their television set right now, mimicking what sisters Elsa and Anna are doing because they know the routine. Look at the Star Wars work. Good grief.
A Millennium Falcon of flaxseed, seaweed, carnations, and strawflowers soars over the stormtroopers and Wookiees.
Yes.
I don't think that would make a very good armor for the real Millennium Falcon. Yes, right.
Wonderful
Really
work.
special, that.
Boy,
Wow.
just wonderful work.
You know, the Star Wars movie has now gone over $1 billion. It has now grossed more than any film in the history of filmmaking.
And it opened on Christmas Day, didn't it?
Yeah. Hey, we're going to produce a film. We've got a children's soccer movie we're going to do.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's called Goals to Glory, and I'm looking really forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun, too. Very nice. Disney, congratulations. This is their 60th anniversary, by the way. So if you want to see all of the rides the way they are now, you better get to Disneyland real quick because they're going to be shutting some of them down to build this magnificent Star Wars. It's Disney's 60th anniversary, but
Mickey does not look a day older.
I know, but this is the 50th anniversary of their appearance
Chip and Dale, right there. Chip and Dale, get it?
Oh, I get it.
Goofy, your cousin.
Hey, don't get,
The Stormtroopers.
I'm not going to say a word. I got in trouble last time.
They're awfully friendly. They're very friendly today. Oh, look at all those little bodies. I don't know who they all are, but they're happy to be here, I'll tell you
Bet
that.
they are. And right behind Disney, from Riverside County, California, come the Norco Cowgirls Rodeo Drill Team and the Little Miss Norco Cowgirls, made up of wranglers ages 9 to 16. Norco, by the way, is often called Horsetown, USA. Residents say they have more horses than people. And here's the interesting thing about this group. There are 5 mother-daughter pairs riding this morning. The group's marshal, Michonne Bowen, is riding not only with her 9-year-old daughter, but also with her 73-year-old mother. And notice the bling, that's it, bling on each horse's tack.
Yep.
Those are, what do they call, what kind of crystals are those? Crystals?
Swarovski.
That's nice, Gesundheit.
Swarovski crystals.
All right, very nice indeed. They ride in rodeos and parades and horse shows. They get up at 2 a.m. to get ready for this. And
they've come to the wrong place for sympathy, of course.
Bad, but it takes a long time to get a horse ready for a parade.
Yes,
I want you to know that.
Absolutely.
Micah, what do you got?
For football fans all around, this year's Rose Bowl Hall of Fame inductees, Mark Brunell, Tyrone Wheatley, and Jim Muldoon. And they're traveling in style on a 1927 Cadillac sedan, the same auto that carried President Franklin Roosevelt around Glacier National Park in 1934. Frederick Douglass Fritz Pollard is also an inductee honored posthumously on the 100th anniversary of his appearance in the 1916 Rose Bowl game, guys. Wow. Very nice. All right. The winner of the Mayor's Trophy. Here comes the sun. Those golden California rays, courtesy of the city of Los Angeles, beckoning everyone to discover Los Angeles. So many famous LA landmarks represented here. LAX, Hollywood Bowl, which accented with lima and navy beans. And by the way, is the mayor riding? I believe he is. Mayor Garcetti. And I just want to take this time to thank the mayor, because he personally, there he is, with his lovely daughter Maya. But to Steph and I, on December 21st, the mayor made this Bob and Stephanie Day in Los Angeles. And I just want to personally thank him for that wonderful, wonderful thing.
Lovely of them. Florence LaRue is riding. You remember her from The Fifth Dimension, of course.
Yeah.
And the trophy, the mayor's trophy, is for most outstanding city entry, national or international. So there you have it. By the way, no taxpayer funds were used to put this float together.
Yeah. Very nice. Thank you, Mayor.
I'm going to take a deep breath now to say all of this.
Go.
Marching for the 44th time, the Los Angeles Unified School District High School Honor Band under the direction of Tony White and Art Duardo. Whew. There you are.
This Rose Parade presented by Honda Broadcast is brought to you without commercial interruption by our friends at El Pollo Loco, presenting 5 meals under 500 calories.
You know, this was created specifically, this band, to give smaller ensembles a chance to be in the Rose Parade. So every corner of the district, including 60 schools, they try to have represented in this band, and we appreciate that effort.
Very nice. You played in the band, didn't you?
I did. I played the trombone.
The trombone?
Yes,
Why?
because my grandfather and my uncle played it, and there was a trombone in the attic. I wanted to play the French horn, but it didn't work out that way.
Good thing there wasn't a tuba up there.
But you know what? I learned to really, really love it.
Now, your husband, Murray, he is a musician.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we're a musical family of 2.
And he is a MacLeod.
He is a MacLeod.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So many wonderful things to see here in Southern California. You know where I went the other day? We went to a museum out in Camarillo for World War II airplanes.
Ooh.
It was so cool, man. The P-51 Mustang and bombers and all of that.
Yes.
And it was just a great place. There's so many things to see in Southern California. And I'm just glad we live here. That's all I can tell
Oh,
you.
me too. That's well spoken. Say, what's coming up here?
Oh, there's a new sheriff in town. Did I tell you that? Mm-hmm. He's riding with the Mounted Enforcement Detail of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Jim McDonald,
He's the
sworn
sheriff.
in about a year ago, is riding with 20 of his mounted officers. The Sheriff's Department has been protecting these here parks since 1850, which explains why 10 of the deputies are decked out in Western gear from the mid-80s.
Oh, mid-1800s.
Oh,
I should say. I love that. Bringing up the rear are kids from the Sheriff's Explorers program and a miniature horse named Deputy Pearl.
Oh, yeah.
And she has received a Congressional Service Award for her duties as a therapy horse.
Those little miniature horses, I love to see them in the parade. I really love to see them.
She's a heroine.
Yeah. Okay. The Judge's Special Trophy in honor of Raul Rodriguez. It's showtime for the Los Angeles Lakers. 16-time NBA champs, but first-time participants in the Rose Parade. And look who's there. That's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
So it
Bless
is.
him.
20 seasons in the NBA, I understand.
Yeah, and you know who's with him? Paula Abdul.
Ooh.
Yeah, she got her start as a Laker girl and went on to have 6 #1 singles, win an Emmy for outstanding choreography, and she's just a very talented lady.
Very gifted. This is from Paradiso Floats, Charles Meyer designed. The Judge's Special Trophy in honor of departed Raul Rodriguez, one of the finest designers of floats and other wonderful pieces of work around the world.
And Kobe Bryant is retiring this year.
Yeah, we love him.
Kobe.
He's done a great job.
Oh, he's done a great job, really has. Number 24.
Providing service to others, promoting integrity, and advancing world understanding, Rotary International brings us a gang of cute critters working together for peace. 2 lovebirds of white everlasting and carnation petals and orange ground lentil seed nestled in an ornate arch of hot pink roses, peach and bright yellow carnations. You see Little Miss Mouse there, visited by a curious dragonfly, tortoise and squirrel working together, a Mr. Snail enjoying a flourishing rose trellis, and surrounding them are beds of green leather fern, pink Canterbury bells, and hybrid delphiniums with white Queen Anne lace.
No raccoons.
No, a
No.
praying mantis of dark mung bean green. It's really an intricate piece of work.
Really
Beautiful.
nice.
From Rotary International, they do so much good for so many people.
And they've been so loyal to this parade. We congratulate Rotary, too. Michael, what do you got, guy?
Well, from Puebla, Mexico, it's the Centro Escolar Jose Maria Aguilas Doradas, or Golden Eagles, directed by Luis Alberto Mendoza Gomez.
Happy New Year to our friends at Honda. Thank you for your support. Hurry in for great deals during Happy Honda Days.
I love that arrangement.
Yeah, good band.
Fun.
All right, we've seen cowboys from the Old West. Now representing Old Mexico is this popular charro group, the Martinez family, Benny Martinez. The word charro refers, by the way, to the traditional horsemen from Mexico, and the Martinez family, which hails from Aguanga, California. Do you know where that is?
No, I
never
didn't know
heard of
it.
Aguanga. It's in Riverside County, and they have a population of 1,128. But anyway, the charro is known for its authentic style of dress and saddles that date back in the early 1800s. This, by the way, is their 34th appearance in the Rose Parade. Family patriarch Benny Martinez is the master of the art of the hard thing to do. It's trick roping. It is so difficult, really is.
You used to, didn't you?
No, I didn't trick rope. I was a team roper.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So this is the end of the Martinez, huh? Wow. Oh, I'm so sorry. Can't say enough about these folks. It just wouldn't be possible without our good friends at Tournament of Roses. You can join the conversation using the hashtag Tournament of Roses on social media too.
This, I believe now, is the Kiwanis International float. You know, Rotary Kiwanis and the Lions Club just hold us together. Anyone with kids knows what an adventure they can be, and the Calneva District of Kiwanis International rejoices over that with children, our treasure.
Now, I've been rehearsing this, so here we go.
Go.
This treasure island features a colorful pirate parrot covered in carnations.
Excellent. Carnations.
In fact, the whole thing, carnations.
Very
there
good.
it is. Okay. In fact, the whole thing is festooned with more than 6,500 carnations, roses, and orchids. And, you know, I think we should talk about roses. You know, every rose on every float is put in a vial, single rose in a single vial that has water and 7-Up in it. You know, I just think it's so interesting.
Do you
Thank
know
you,
that
Kiwanis.
each year, Kiwanis clubs contribute more than $5 million and 850,000 volunteer hours to their communities. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, they're a great organization. Congratulations, Kiwanis International. Children, our treasure. Well, that's the truth.
Now, this time of year, Trader Joe's holiday favorites, Candy Cane JoJo's and pumpkin pancakes, which fuel the KTLA Rose Parade office, by the way,
Yes.
as they do this fearless flyer, propelled by handheld vegetable propellers and powerful peppers, it has won the Fantasy Trophy. We need not say why. TJ's main man towers over the crowd at 35 feet, sports a telltale Hawaiian shirt of a friendly store employee, and a paisley robe created with varieties of straw flower and red Christmas beans, white navy beans, brown coffee. Look at the cool pants on
this
these
is a great
folks.
float.
Striped in lavender and gold mums and red kidney beans. It's quite a visual feast, isn't it?
It's really neat.
Michelle Lofthouse of Phoenix Decorating Company designed this beauty. And there's a customized mid-float elevator system raising the flyer up and down into a fixed position. What a piece of work.
Oh, Fantasy Trophy winner. How neat is that? Okay, from the heart of Silicon Valley, it's the Saratoga High School Marching Band and Color Guard, directed by Michael Boyce.
We're grateful to Carl's Jr. for this telecast of the 2016 Rose Parade presented by Honda. Eat like you mean it.
All right, this ensemble raised money for their trip out here to Pasadena with cookie dough, offering 14 different flavors. My son Noah loves cookie dough. Thanks for the sweet sights and sounds, Saratoga High School Marching Band and Color Guard of Saratoga, California. By the way, that's where Steven Spielberg and two Olympic medalists, Carrie Steinpfeifer and Patricia Miranda, went to school. How about that?
Yeah.
I'm just a plethora of knowledge. Have you noticed
Why, and you said it so beautifully.
that? I know.
Shriners Hospitals for Children. What a work they do. They have won the Tournament Volunteers Trophy. There are traditions within traditions here at the Rose Parade presented by Honda, and among them are Fezzy the Bear from Shriners, making his third appearance in Fezzy Races to Adventure. 17 feet high is this plush bear, but instead of stuffing, he's made of gold mums with a snout of cordon puffs and black seaweed. He's racing through town in a fire truck made of Christmas red mums, along with poppy, lettuce, and onion, bringing Shriners love to the rescue, and that is what they do. They've been operating hospitals for children since 1922, when they first opened their doors in Shreveport, Louisiana. NASCAR driver and club member David Reagan is riding along with Fezzi and some wonderful Shriners kids. Now, of course, Shriners is a world-renowned healthcare system. It has 22 locations in 3 countries.
Very nice indeed. Congratulations to the Shriners.
Boy.
Hey, the next group is a magnificent breed. This is the Calzona Appaloosa Horse Club, which celebrates the traditions and heritage of the Northern Plateau and Plains Indians. These are Appaloosa horses. They were originally brought forth by the Nez Perce tribe, and they're clad in their garments. And some of these horses, by the way, are born without spots on their rumps. And then the owner goes, oh my God, what do I do now? What do I do now? And then a couple of months later, the spots appear.
Because you want the spots.
Yeah, you want the spots, yeah. Appaloosa. You'll also find that this horse is very unusual, that it has vertical stripes on its hooves. And it's the only horse that has that. They're great endurance. They're a wonderful horse, and I congratulate them. The Appaloosa is prized for its spotted coat. A Palouse horse, a reference to the Palouse River in Idaho.
Yes.
Thank you for
Beautiful
showing us
group.
your Appaloosa horses.
Micah, what's going on up your way?
Well, the La Cañada Flint Ridge Tournament of Roses Association had a little fun with this one, and boy, did it pay off. Winners of the Bob Hope Humor Trophy for most and amazing entry. And they say even with a paddle, these guys find themselves hilariously up a creek. Thanks to their association, the shooting of rapids in a raft made of yellow mums apparently got a little too adventurous for our 3 furry friends, Buddy Bear, Bucky Beaver, and Hobbs the Bobcat. And high above, a bird flies to the rescue, slowing that harrowing thrill ride. Go fast, young bears. Good thing, too, that bear made of palm fiber might not fare too well in those rapids, nor would a buffalo grass beaver with a tail of black and thirst. Love this, and a congratulations to La Cañada Flint Ridge.
Nicely said, Micah.
Very nice.
This showpiece has won the sweepstakes trophy. You can see why. The Sing Poli group wrangled a fire-breathing dragon for Marco Polo East Meets West. He stands on a moon bridge ahead of the fierce dragon, a symbol of the beauty, mystery of the East. Orange halves, pincushion protea, casino anthurium, and calypso macara orchids adorn the curled body, which, if it were stretched out, would measure 175 feet.
See the fire coming out of his mouth? Look at that.
Wowzers.
Oh, look at that. Hey. The dragon's limbs got their scaly look from carefully trimmed grapefruit and tangerine rind. It looks so real, too.
Wow, the Paradiso float building company is responsible for this. It is magnificent.
It really is. Bob Eubanks, Stephanie Edwards, Michael Ullman, the 127th Tournament of Roses Parade. And by the way, our aerial coverage is provided by Goodyear, the tires chosen by experts for superior performance. Goodyear. More driven.
Have you ever driven a blimp?
Oh, gosh, no. I've never been in one.
I have been in one.
Have you?
Yes, and the steering of it is along your side, and you steer like kind of around and up and down at your side. What an experience, because when you're looking out the window, you see only ground, and it's a little scary.
I see it off the 405 freeway.
That's me. That's me
that you?
Every week.
Okay.
Say, Oklahoma, where the wind, or rather the Jenks High School Trojan Pride, comes sweeping down Colorado Boulevard under the direction of Scott Hillock.
Many thanks to Audi for their support of this morning's live telecast. Brought to you without commercial interruption. Brighten your holiday at the Season of Audi sales event.
Here's an interesting fact, Bob, about Jenks High School.
Yeah.
Route 66 runs through Tulsa, close to Jenks High School, all the way into Pasadena by way of our very own Colorado Boulevard.
Right.
Isn't that it? They could have marched here all the way from the Sooner State, you know, if they'd wanted to walk the
Do you know, I saw the
1,400 miles.
movie Oklahoma
Yes.
3 times a day for 48 weeks.
Why?
I was a doorman at the Egyptian Theater in Hollywood.
No.
But I got fired. I hit a guy in the back of the head with a broom.
You meant to?
Yeah.
You meant to?
Well, I was on a ladder, see, and I was cleaning the marquee, and the ladder was on wheels, and he was walking down the boulevard, and he hit the ladder, and I'm sailing down Hollywood Boulevard.
No
So
kidding.
pretty soon he comes back to do it again.
And you know what, folks? I'm not sure about this, but I hear the rumor that Bob's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame is exactly at the place where he hit the man on the head. I don't
got
know
it.
if it's true.
That's me. I can't help it.
The Jenks High School Trojan Pride from Jenks, Oklahoma. We love them.
Oklahoma. Oh, by the way, I feel a Tina Turner song coming on.
Please don't sing it.
Yeah, this is the winner of the animation trophy. I won't sing, I promise you. Or maybe it's just the next entry, Rolling on the River.
That's what it is.
Yep, it's just from the Sierra Madre Float Association. And the Sierra Madre is a wonderful little town just northeast of Pasadena. It's a really neat little place. There's more than 30,000 flowers used to create this family of flamingos rafting down the river in umbrellas, sneaking past the park rangers. Now, the flamingos are sporting 3 shades of pink carnations, button, cushion, pom-pom mums, along with limes and clementines. It's just beautiful. They make up these umbrellas.
Excuse me, Bob, I'm sorry. This is a self-built float, which means it was, you know, built by volunteers from the community, and it has won the animation trophy. That is pretty good.
And that's Emily Lopez, Carmen Martinez, and Carrie Savoy, along with Katie Stapenhorse. How's that for a name?
Yeah,
Those are
very
the
good.
princesses on the float, and they come to us from Sierra Madre.
And you know, a white suitor, a volunteer here at the tournament, donated his welding abilities to help build that float this year.
Tournament of Roses Association, just a marvelous
Boy, they're great
organization.
folks.
All volunteer businessmen and women that put this thing on, and they do a great job.
For the 59th time, 8 glorious Budweiser Clydesdales. Here's where I cry.
Oh, I know.
From Anheuser-Busch in St. Louis, Missouri, they are taking part once again in the Rose Parade. Today's is the first of hundreds of appearances they will make in 2016. They are magnificent,
I hope they
72
can-
inches high at the shoulder, between 1,800 and 2,300 pounds. Their harnesses are of solid brass, patent leather, and stitching of pure linen thread. They are beloved.
Well, my heart goes out to the folks of St. Louis having some real flooding problems right now.
Yeah.
Good luck, y'all.
Say, do you think it's a man's world? This float says no. The AIDS Healthcare Foundation shows us it's a girl's world of adventure. Young women seated up front represent the 5 continents where the AHF provides medical services covering more than 36 countries. 4 statues each represent a different profession: doctor, construction worker, teacher, businesswoman, reinforcing the message that girls can do a lot of stuff. The Art Deco-inspired design is completed with floral gardens containing more than 50,000 red freedom roses, carnations, and gerberas.
How about that? Hey, what are you going to do if you're not doing the Rose Parade?
Well, somebody recently said that they knew that buying a book isn't the same as reading it. I have stacks and stacks of books. I have some volunteer work that I'm looking forward to doing, some family concerns that I am overjoyed to participate in, and I'm writing a little stuff. I'm writing the Bob Eubanks story, and it's a barn burner.
Yeah, that ought to be a little bitty book.
Say,
okay.
now we're walking on sunshine with butterflies, kites, virtuosos of the Franklin Regional High School Band from Murraysville, Pennsylvania.
This telecast is presented without commercial interruption thanks to our friends at American Career College, where one change changes everything.
5.5 miles, you know, if they're running as they are in those soft shoes, there will be blisters. Murrysville, Pennsylvania. Director Kevin Pollack. They are called the Franklin Panthers.
Yeah, but you know what they did, how they raised money?
Tell
they
us.
play cow pasture bingo. Do you know how? And we used to do this. What you do is you take a big field and you put it off in squares, and then you turn a cow or a steer out there, and you make a bet as to which square the cow or bull or steer will leave its marking.
I see.
And that's how they raise money.
Kind
Cow
of a
pasture
contribution.
bingo.
Yeah, well, it's a very natural thing.
There's no end to my limitations.
You
You know
betcha.
that? All right. Here we go. Remember this next time, I should say remember this the next time you're on 101, folks. Getting there is half the fun. Planes, trains, and automobiles. Celebrate the city of Glendale's great travel adventures. Glendale's city bird, the noble peacock, leads the way with his brilliant tail of green split peas, blue status, while everlasting at red strawflower. Honorary Chair Melody Rogers is on board.
Good for Melody.
Remember Melody?
She's a darling.
Yeah, she was in 200 Town, or I don't know if you've ever seen her dance in a chorus line, but man.
She was terrific.
She
And you
was.
know a chorus line, you've got to be a fabulous dancer. A floral replica of Amelia Earhart's Ford Tri-Motor soars over a historic steam locomotive, shaded by blueberries, Christmas red and yellow mums, and black seaweed. Blueberries, do you hear that? They use blueberries on this float.
I like
It's just so much work that people do that we just don't have time to wax eloquent over.
Yeah, Glendale's a neat town. They have this year, they're 23 years of their classic car show called Cruise Night. And it's just, I went to Glendale High School the first 2 years of my high school.
Did you flunk out there too, did you?
Nah, then I went to Pasadena after that. Okay, here we go. Micah, what have you got for us, my friend?
I want to share with you a special moment that I've been able to enjoy over the last 6 years covering this parade. Down in the stands with my friends from Cal Poly Pomona and San Luis Obispo, every year going on little to no sleep, and we've had so much fun, and they are really such a proud group, and this is their entry. They are so proud every year and have every reason to be proud again this year. Winners of the Lathrop K. Leishman Trophy for most beautiful non-commercial float. These kids do it so well every year. They've got gummy bears, they've got lollipops, and what they like to call sweet shenanigans, as you see there on the front of the float. They developed this treat and were once again, for the 5th year, able to apply a majority of California-grown flowers. Giant gummy bears of marigolds and mums taking center stage. A salute once again from me to you, my friends, the kids of Cal Poly.
Very nice indeed. Well, from Fort Sill in Oklahoma comes a proud reminder of the rich history of America's air defense and field artillery branches. This is an authentic representation of a horse-drawn artillery half-section from the 1920s. Now, each soldier is wearing a khaki uniform of the period, and they're armed with 75-millimeter World War I guns known as the French 75. And during World War I, Captain Harry S. Truman, who later became president, commanded an artillery battery of French 75s while serving with the American force in France.
Did you know
nice.
that, folks? I didn't know.
I didn't know at all.
Now, this is the Director's Trophy winner from Dole Packaged Food. Welcome to the jungle in Soaring Over Paradise. The use of all natural products demonstrates Dole Packaged Food's commitment to sustainability and celebrates the world's precious rainforests. Beautiful macaws honor the talented artist and our good friend, Raul Rodriguez, who passed away early last year. During his 38-year career, Raul modeled 528 Rose Parade floats, including several of Dole's award-winning entries. And with his blue macaw, Sebastian, on his shoulder, Raul brought to life many cultures with his inventive designs. Now there is Raul's partner, Robert, with Sebastian himself riding along with him.
Hey, this is
dole
the
and
first time we've ever had a zip line. You
That's
see
a
that?
marvelous thing.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
rider will sail over the float 100 times during the parade, crossing 4 waterfalls, cascading 1,000 gallons of recycled water, too.
Wow. Wow. How do they do this?
I don't know. We miss Raul.
We surely do.
He was a wonderful float designer, boy.
This is another masterpiece out of Fiesta, and I do believe, again, I say, Stan Meyer, a new designer out of New York, working with Fiesta, is going to make a wonderful mark on this parade.
Hey, I wish the guy would do it again. Go, man. There you go. There he goes. Whee!
Oh,
A zip line.
what fun! What fun!
Our show would not be on the air without our fabulous crew here at Channel 5 KTLA. Some have been with us since the beginning, like Rick Teller,
Yay, Rick.
Tony Whitesoul, Tony Olivas, and Frankie, our lighting guy. He's been with us forever and ever
My
and
career
ever.
would have ended 20 years ago without Frankie, our lighting guy.
Yes, I know that.
All right, but we digress. We love him. Aloha, aloha, and happy 175th anniversary to the Punahou Marching Band under the direction of Mark Falzarano. Well, this is a lovely band. Punahou Marching Band from Honolulu, Hawaii. We love them. Mahalo to all of you. Lovely. Micah, before you speak, I'd just like to say that my lighting man, all of our lighting men, he's the lighting man for all of us, is Frankie Olivas. And I wanted to mention him because truly, lighting technicians are the unsung heroes of show business, and I'm grateful for them.
Boy, you're not kidding me, too. Frankie's been with us forever and
You
ever and
bet.
ever, and God bless, we're glad he's here.
Go, Micah.
Right, y'all, Frankie is our hero, and Happy New Year to you, pal. Hold on to your pizza raft. The California Milk Advisory Board comes in with the tournament special trophy. Stick with me now. This is exceptional merit in multiple classifications, including floats that do not retract to 55 feet in length. And they're calling these lactose rapids, and you can bet they get pretty dicey on adventures in real food. This pasteurized float from the California Milk Advisory Board reminds us that California is the #1 milk producing state in the U.S. And leading the way is a free-range banana split you saw there, which, like much of the presentation, is decorated in food products fed to cows, such as citrus pulp, almond hulls, and corn stalks. Molded from yellow gold and white straw flour are the mozzarellas, the provolones, the parmesans. Getting hungry? Topping all the pizza and filling the grilled cheese sandwich.
Wow.
Looks good.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, it's a darling float.
It really is. All right, coming up next now is the tradition and grand elegance of the Mexican charro on display this morning with the Los Hermanos Banuelos from Altadena, California. The charro, as we mentioned before, is the Mexican cowboy. They're excellent horsemen. They usually ride horses that walk with a very proud gait. And the saddles, I don't know if we can get a shot of a saddle, but the saddle originally came from Spain. And then the Aztec Indians taught the charros how to braid ropes. And the Mexicans then invented the horn that goes on the saddle. See that big horn right there? That was a Mexican invention. The saddles originally came from Spain, and they added to it. So these are really good cowboys. Most of them trick ropers. Everything is embroidered by hand, including their shirts, stitched with rose patterns as homage to the Rose Parade presented by Honda. The Los Hermanos Banuelos Charro team. Gracias, amigos. Very nice. See the proud walk? Look at the proud walk they have.
Along with the hundreds of Tournament of Roses volunteers who spend countless hours to make this parade a success, we would like to thank Bill Flynn, Ed Corey, Heidi Hoff, Steve Perry, and President Mike Matheson. The Tournament of Roses folks are magnificent folks.
Yes, they are.
We thank them for being involved with us all these years.
And you know what worries me? We're honorary members now of the Tournament of Roses
That
Association.
means you have to sweep up.
Well, you know, I see some of the white coaters walking behind the horses.
Yep.
You think
that's your job?
That's where I'll be next year. You can count on it.
Say now, but
Yes.
coming down the pike is a bird or a plane or maybe a fish. It has won the international trophy, and it comes to us from China Airlines. Venture to Majestic Taiwan is its title. China Airlines reveres not just flying, but also exotic flying fish. Flying fish is the most important food for the seafaring people of Taiwan's Orchid Island, known as Tawu. They build elaborate fishing boats without using a single nail. That depicts one right there.
Oh, wow.
We are pleased to welcome Chinese viewers watching on HKS, serving Hong Kong and China. Wanying Guanzhong, that means, I hope.
Say it again.
Welcome, audience.
What?
Wanying Guanzhong. I'm sure you could do it just as well.
No. That's
just as
very nice.
The official name of Orchid Island is Lanyu. It's a volcanic island carpeted by a tropical rainforest. The southernmost outpost of Taiwan, that's part of what is pictured here. Marvelous, marvelous.
Really nice. Well, the Oddfellows and Rebeccas remind us that the most important experiences come from time spent with family and friends on the tree of life's adventures.
Atop a 35-foot tree trunk sits this serene treehouse neighborhood. Tan straw and gold clover seeds create thatched roofs held up by poles of tan raffia and paper bark. Riding are the honored members of this organization, the Oddfellows Rebecca's Rose Float. Are these newlyweds? I believe they are.
Wow, really?
I don't know that they were married this morning. We weren't told that, but it sure seems to be the case. Oh, congratulations.
No kidding.
Forest floor, pink, lavender, snapdragons, hybrid delphiniums, and the like. But what we're looking at is the couple.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, an Oddfellow is an advocate of friendship who never looks at people with prejudice.
What do the
Isn't that
Rebeccas do then?
The Rebeccas have led the way. They started it.
I see.
Yeah. Say
What?
O-H-I-O.
No.
No. How do you do it?
You go O-H.
O-H.
I-O.
To the William Mason High School Marching Band under the direction of Robert Bass.
Do it again.
O-H.
I-O.
Good.
We thank AT&T for its support of this live broadcast of the Rose Parade presented by Honda, and for its high-speed internet. One thing you can rely on.
What was the applause all about down there? Do you hear it?
Relatives.
Well, can it be for the William Mason High School Marching Band
Sure.
from Mason, Ohio? How thrilling for them. You know, I look at these gals with their wonderful flags and think, on years when it's really, really, really cold and you're wearing a rather brief costume, it's miserable.
That's what
This
you look
year-
at when you see gals with... I didn't even see the flag.
Oh, well, this year I'm saying they're fortunate because it has been beautiful out here this morning, and when the
Yeah.
sun came up, it was ideal. Congratulations, this is your first Rose Parade, William Mason High School Marching Band. Maybe you're right. There are people accompanying them who paid their own way
Yeah.
too because they wanted to give them support.
They're people from OH.
They paid for their trip in part through Pennies for Pasadena. They stationed collection jars through Mason, and the community supported them with their spare change. Wow.
OH.
I-O.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, folks, If a single red rose says, I love you.
And it does.
Then the 10,000 hot pink roses on this exotic vision from the TV show The Bachelor sends the message that love is the greatest journey. And I got to tell you a quick story. I did a show for CBS called Card Sharks. Had two models on the show, Lacey and Suzanne. Lacey Pemberton is now the person who picks all of the contestants on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette.
She owes you everything.
Yeah, and returning to the Rose Parade presented by Honda for the second straight year, this Bachelor scene is highlighted by a working hot tub. Why would he have to have a hot tub? Does he need a bath?
You tell me, honey.
Oh, okay, I don't know. Carved tiki figures and exotic gardens filled with pink mink protea, lobster claw and fuzzy King Kong heliconia. Wow. The Bachelor himself, well, that's Ben Higgins, surveys this paradise from his lifeguard chair while dolphins frolic in waves of white Akito roses, orchids, and light and dark blue iris.
Well, my goodness.
I got it all in. Yes, you know what? On The Bachelor and The Bachelorette shows, they've resulted in 5 marriages, 5 couples who are currently engaged, and 4 bachelor babies.
How can you be a bachelor baby? Would you be anything else?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
Anyway, it's a fun show to watch, and they've 20 years been very, very successful. How nice.
Now, may I say meow, which has nothing to do with what we just saw.
Oh, I want to go back to the hot tub.
Meow
No,
is the word from the float entry of the city of Torrance called What a Perfectly Pawful Adventure, the Princess's Trophy. The city of Torrance is lauding their Class 1 rated fire department. Did you know that?
No.
A zany backyard dishevelment began when a pesky cat of orange marigold and cream and gold straw flower petals got stuck scaling a tree on his way to harass the neighborhood bird population. Feathered in blue sinuata status confetti and crisp white coconut chips. And then we see a strapping Torrance firefighter extending help on his blazing carnation red fire engine. It looks like the commotion woke the guard dog from his nap. It's a cascading story. And by the way, William Rakowski just retired from the Torrance Fire Department after serving there for 38 years.
Wow.
Well, we thank you, William. Wow. William Rakowski.
Very nice. Can we get another shot of the hot tub? I guess not. Never mind. Okay.
Micah, take us out of this.
Yes, I'd be glad to. We're going to welcome the Mira Mesa High School Sapphire Sound. This is their first trip and a happy 40th anniversary under the direction of lifelong Rose Parade fan Gene Christensen, their first trip to the Rose Parade.
Stay tuned for a special encore of the 127th Rose Parade presented by Honda, immediately following this telecast right here on KTLA 5.
Seaweed and Spam sushi snack brought in thousands of fundraising dollars for these musicians. They, like Puno High School, sold the creative sushi in their school cafeteria. Well done to these kids. And welcome again to your first Rose Parade presented by Honda. You're listening to Sapphire Sound from San Diego, California. They are proud to have over 28 different languages spoken in their school. The band changed its motto to Finding Your Adventure this year, in keeping with our wonderful theme.
It's a great story.
Well, Happy New Year, everybody. If you just tuned in, Bob Eubanks, Stephanie Edwards, Michael Ullman, and we're here in Pasadena for the 127th Tournament of Roses Parade. And for Steph and I, it's our last one.
We're 60 feet in the air, dear friends, and we realize we will never quite have this view again unless we charge in and interrupt Lisa and Mark next year.
You know,
would be
and
terrible of us.
I want to make it clear to everybody, this is yours and my decision. Nobody else's. Nobody asked us. This is our decision. We just decided that we wanted to go out when we wanted to go out, and we wanted to go out on top. And thanks to our loyal viewers, our ratings have just been sensational, and for that we're most appreciative. So God bless you all, and thanks for all of your support. Well, this vibrant, colorful scene of communion is a Sikh American journey, a salute to Vaisakhi, the Punjabi Harvest Festival. A noble horse draped with a blanket of wine and lavender mums, soy and red kidney beans, and yellow straw flower leads the way as Sikh American people celebrate Vaisakhi, observed as a Thanksgiving Day for farmers.
Sikhs believe in the equality of all human beings, regardless of gender, religion, race, or social status. And this display of camaraderie reflects that beautiful sentiment.
You know, the Sikhs strive to transform underprivileged and minority communities and individuals into informed and vibrant members of society. How wonderful.
You might catch a glance at the baskets surrounding this festive scene. They are holding authentic Indian sweets and pastries, which is, of course, allowed because they are a natural substance.
Wow.
What an inventive, beautiful display.
Well, let's all salute the U.S. Army, or what the Army looked like in the 1800s, by recognizing the 1st Cavalry Division Horse Cavalry Detachment from Fort Hood, Texas. Now, we have 12 troopers in traditional campaign uniforms. They're riding quarter horses and carry working 1800s-era firearms, and they're leading a wagon with a driver known as a mule skinner. These soldiers make their own saddles, boots, and shoe their own horses, too, by the way. Pretty cool, huh?
Beautiful, beautiful outfit. Parks make life better. Boy, that's a mouthful. This is National Parks Day around here. The city of Alhambra appreciates its 6 wonderful community parks in this bustling suburban paradise. A billowing American flag welcomes us through the grand Alhambra City Arch, the gateway to the San Gabriel Valley, covered in large white lima beans and white fine ground rice. It's topped off with an arrangement of red roses.
Wow, very nice indeed. Redwood bark, tan paper bark, coffee, and brown pinto beans deck the wooden playset, complemented by a strawflower yellow slide. Tree foliage of green magnolia branches and parsley flaked shades the scene. It's really, really beautiful. City of Alhambra believes that parks are an essential community service with numerous unending benefits.
That's the view we'll never have again.
Wow.
As part of Wells Fargo's ongoing commitment to the men and women of the armed services, we are proud to present the vocal styling of the inspiring and award-winning Veterans Choir from New Directions, an organization that provides hope and support to military service personnel who have experienced homelessness after their discharge.
From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. My home, sweet home.
Ladies and gentlemen, New Directions Veterans Choir.
This is my country, land of my grandmother. This is my country, grandest order. I pledge my allegiance, America, the oath. For this is my country to have and to hold, America. From the mountains to the prairies.
New Directions Veterans Choir, magnificent. Now, artistically expressing Bible stories for 66 Rose Parades, our Lutheran Hour Ministries pals are sailing in a fishing boat. Biblical and modern-day disciples aboard, they're bolstered by their knowledge that Jesus is the light of the world.
Amen.
White-capped waves of cataleya and roses tip the blue and purple iris waters. A natural woven fishing basket lingers in the ocean made of net. This is a Phoenix exclusive decorating signature. Phoenix float designers, a magnificent piece of work, tightly wrapped in tan raffia.
Hey, you know, by the way, the Lutheran Layman League volunteers I mentioned, called pedal pushers, are 4,500 strong, and they decorate 7 floats in the Rose Parade presented by Honda. These volunteers range in age from 13 to 96, and they come from all over the nation. We thank them for their service, too. Oh, it's been fun, hasn't it? Woo! The 127th Tournament of Roses Parade. Wow.
You know, it's hard to impress again and again that what you're seeing is spectacular and unique, but that's what we've had the chance to do for 35 years.
Man,
how wonderful. Micah, do you agree, baby, that you are?
You know, I do, and it's such a pleasure and a privilege to be here covering this parade and seeing the magnificent floats go by and the equestrian units and everything that comes down Colorado Boulevard, and the looks on the faces of the kids in the stands is something special and something to behold. And as you watch this parade, you kind of wish for a moment that you were a kid again to be able to enjoy it as they do. And we want to pay a special tribute to the Long Beach Mounted Police as well. It wouldn't be the same without the Mounted Police. Some of these are the grandchildren and great-grandchildren of the first parade riders in 1946. These equestrians are known worldwide for their golden Palomino horses, their sterling silver saddles, and for every rider carrying an American flag. That is a special thing. And there is the choir again over my shoulder. And dare I say, it is time to say farewell. Do we have a few more minutes on the air, or are we there? We are there. Bob and Stephanie, I'm going to throw it back up to you in the booth.
Well, as Yogi Berra said, you can observe a lot by watching. I couldn't say it better. Bob and I have observed such beauty and giftedness and enjoyed the goodwill of so many every January 1st for over 3 decades. I can only feel thankful. And frankly, I'm eager now to see others have this unique broadcasting opportunity. We have kept the seats warm and broken in for Mark and Lisa, and we'll be rooting for them. Now, this year's theme, Find Your Adventure, is a great one for us. We're moving on to new adventures ourselves. But this adventure, spending every New Year's Rose Parade together with friends around the world, this would be hard to top. We're not even going to try. You know, 40 years ago, I came to Southern California hoping to work here. And my first landing spot was a small apartment several blocks from this very spot. Pasadena has felt, it will always feel like home to me. It's been a joy to start all these years with you. Thank you for your friendship, and I'll continue to send you my loving best wishes for happy and blessed years to come.
Well said. Really well said. That's great stuff. Well, we've done it. For me, it's been 38 years that I've had the pleasure and honor of covering what I think is the most beautiful New Year's presentation in the world. I started for 2 years with Barbara Feldon, Agent 99 on Get Smart, and then 1 year with Jane Kennedy, and then this lovely redhead Stephanie Edwards came aboard. I have such respect for the people who prepare for this parade also, the float builders, the bands that fly in from all over the country, and the equestrian units that make this the most beautiful parade in the world. So, after 38 years, Stephanie and I have decided to step down. My thanks goes out to Joe Quasarano and Jenny O'Hagan and the entire crew here at KTLA that make this parade so successful. I would also like to take this opportunity, and I mean this, to thank the millions of viewers who have been our partners in presenting the Rose Parade in Pasadena every New Year's Day. I truly believe that the selection of Mark and Lisa is an absolutely perfect choice, and I know that they will carry on the tradition of making this parade an event to remember. So once again, thanks to everybody, and thanks to my family, my son Trace, my daughter Teresa, my son Corey, and my little buddy, my son Noah. And especially to my beautiful wife Deborah, who has put up with so much during the New Year's time. God bless you, and we'll see you all again.
And a Happy New Year.
Now stay tuned for a special encore of the 127th Rose Parade presented by Honda, next on KTLA 5.